PlayStation 5 launch. All right, so I'm gonna say this. You can take it how you want. PS5 did not launch at a great time. The coof, aka COVID, had been running rampant throughout the whole year. And for whatever reason, somebody was just like, hey, we need to keep this system product launch going. PlayStation 5 launched in November of 2020, 500 doll hairs. It came out in November, and its launch games were Demon Souls, Miles Morales Spider-Man, technically, and Sackboy's Big Adventure. These are the first party exclusive lineups. I'm pretty sure everyone will say, oh, there were more games. Yes, I know. There was Assassin's Creed Valhalla and everything else that was ported over to it, but we're looking at ground up first party exclusive specifically for the system. I'll take it first because 2 out of these 3 games I have played. And I'm going to say Demon Souls. I loved it. Marvel Spider-Man, Miles Morales, palette cleanser from Marvel Spider-Man, the first one with Peter Parker. A switch up. It was a quicker turnover game, more smaller in scope, a budget title in a sense. And I enjoyed it. If you want to get technical, this was a fucking DLC so by itself. Yeah, looking back on it and whatnot now, I'm like, yo, this could have been an expansion. But hey, I really ain't got much to say about Sackboy's Big Adventure because I just didn't. Notable things on the PS5 launch, PlayStation changed long-standing DualShock moniker for the names of the controllers and switched it to a DualSense. I kind of did not feel this name, and I still don't fucking feel this name. I don't know why we just couldn't go with the fucking DualShock 5. Plain simple, period. Yes, it made a lot of changes with the haptic triggers. Very nice, very comfortable, smooth grip, because, baby, I still do, to this day, love the PS4 controller. The PS5 model came out in a standard disc and digital. One was 5.
Disgusting.
It came with Tempest 3D audio, which most people probably won't know what the hell that is
Yeah,
unless you
whatever.
use the headset.
Word salad.
Ray tracing, don't give 2 shits, but
Word salad.
it had something that I guess was just above the competition. It had a custom SSD, something that pioneered instant loading times for the games. And I'm gonna say this: if it ain't a PS5 first party game, you don't see the utilization of that SSD utilized. I can tell you right now, when you click on the icon for Ghost of Yote, it takes 2 seconds and then you are in the
Yeah.
game. Not a main menu, not nothing. You are straight into the game. Really, the first party games that do this. And baby,
It's
I do love that.
yeah, but that's so far and few in between of
It
first.
is,
Yeah.
sadly, sad but true. What were your memorable moments of PS5
Ye
launch
ye
besides the coup and the hardware
Yeah,
problem?
I feel like my cousin's been highly, highly generous of what he's talking about. But yeah, so yeah, this launched November 12th, 2020, US, Japan, Canada, that area, then released on the 19th for the rest of the world, Europe and Europe and I noted that I felt like it was disgusting that they put out a disc versus a digital. Listen, I don't know. I just feel like that started something evil because now they feel like they don't have to put a disk drive going forward because so many people probably bought the cheaper option just to buy the cheaper option. Like I just find that a very disgusting move of Sony, and I'm forever gonna think that. I don't care what people say, oh, they don't have a lot of physical games no more. I don't either. But I still want my disk drive they're now charging because they're charging a digital price like it's the main motherfucker, and they want to charge you for the attachment for a disk drive. That was just a start of a very disgusting business practice by Sony in my eyes. But yeah, the launch titles, some third party games that were kind of multi-platform was Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition, Fortnite was optimized for the PS5, NBA 2K21 and fucking Watch Dogs. Now, this is the start of when I said I would never play or buy another Ubisoft game. Was this from this Watch Dogs game? I hated this game. My cousin loved it, and he is the only reason why I was forced to buy it because we swap out, who buys games per month, and it just so happens it was my turn. But I told him going forward, I will never buy another Ubisoft game, and I haven't bought another Ubisoft game since Watch Dogs. Listen, them discontinuing the franchise should tell you all you need to know. But CPU was spec'd at an 8-core AMD, GPU AMD, or RAM was 16 gigabytes, storage. All right, now I'm gonna start getting into issues from the launch. I could not get a PS5 when it first first came out because of the whole COVID thing, the supply chain and all that brought I could not get it. And the scalping was outrageous. It was 2 to 3 times the original price. So some scalpers had this, it was sitting at $1,500 for a month. If you had, unless you had one of those bots that could like purchase things as soon as it hit stock on the internet, you could not get this at retail price. So that was one of the major issues. Another issue was storage problems. The PS5 had 825 gigabyte total, and only 667 gigabytes was usable for games. What the fuck? I don't know who in their mind, especially when you was developing games, was like, oh yeah, 666 gigabytes of usable storage. They need to be fired because what the fuck? And like some like Call of Duty was 200 gigabytes, so you can only get 3 or 4 games. Like that irritated me when I first did get my hands on the PS5. It was reported that rest mode system crashes, download queue and data corruption bugs was happening. HDMI 2.1 capability issues. The DualSense controller had problems. Adaptive trigger breakage was a thing. The stick drift did happen on this controller still. There was complaints of disk drive noise in the disk edition. There was some overheating issues. That bitch does gets hot, and mine still gets hot to this day. If you ever like fill up against the system, that bitch is hot. Yeah.
Well. Let's also be honest. We still do have the launch models of it, so
And
I can understand
that's
why
that's
it
that's
does.
what I'm talking about. Like that
Yeah,
bitch should
why
not get
stuff
that
get
hot.
hot. Also, I did glaze over one big old thing, but you may remember there was a huge fucking bug with the rest mode that
Mhm.
if you left it in rest mode and then you
Mhm.
turned it back, not only could the system potentially fuck up or crash
Mhm.
real bad, wipe everything, every
Yep.
game, every save data off of it. And I
Mhm.
remember that being a huge
Huge
fucking thing.
problem.
It made me not. I didn't use rest mode for I think
Me
a good
either.
year
It was
year or two. I was like,
they
yo, just
said
turn it
not
off.
to do it. They said not to push the
Yeah.
system in rest mode when that first was happening. Like, don't do it. So like I was like, well, fuck a
But
rest mode.
you also brought up one point that I totally forgot. The
I know.
PlayStation 5 launch was the start of the dark time.
I know.
Scalping had never been bad. PS5 came
Yo.
out. The PS5 launch turned scalpers' eyes onto video games. Because
Yeah,
still to this
disgusting.
day, collector's editions, deluxe editions, any of that and COVID caused scalpers to turn their eyes on the video game market.
Cause they made so much
Anything
money.
gaming sells out instantly.
I've never I think I came on this channel and said I would never buy the pro versions of the PS5. So anything I talk about Sony and the PlayStation is on the original system. And like I said, that bitch gets hot. It got hot from the beginning and it still gets hot. And you know, sometimes I'll be scared because that bitch I feel like it burns my hand to touch. But you know, that was another issue. And another thing was a PS5 to PS4 version mix up. People accidentally downloaded the PS4 version of games instead of the PS5 version. Sony eventually added clearer labels to fix this confusion. Now, I do remember that being a whole thing. Like, I feel like they something in to make it really, really deliberate on which version you got. That was a whole fiasco. And the last gripe on the list was backwards compatibility glitches. Most PS4 games worked fine, but a few had FPS drops, graphical bugs, and saved data itch. Sony patched many of these later on, of course. But those are some of the main big issues outside of, COVID, scalping. But it wasn't the prettiest launch. It did come at a point where the world was kind of shut out from going outside. So this is kind of during the gaming boom where gaming industry saw an influx of money, even with scalpers. A lot of games saw a high rate of sales. In its first 12 months, from what I can see, there's estimated units sold between 13 to 15 million units in its first 12 months, which is kind of on par with the PS4 release. From what I was looking, it's not really that far off. So even with the scalping, Sony still made their money. They were a-okay, and this system would go on to sell. I mean, up to date, it's almost like what 80, 85 million or whatever they're at. So Sony was fine. It wasn't the prettiest of launch, and yeah, but I just want to point out, even though this game is not a PS5, it did come out on the PS4. The game that I probably spent the most amount of playtime on is Ghost of Tsushima. And Ghost of Tsushima got me through COVID. It got me through not leaving my house for 2 years. Ghost of Tsushima really got me through some difficult and hard times. Just to play online, that's back when Nightmare used to be an hour long. You know, I could really just, forget about the whole situation of what was going on outside. So even though the launch titles, I didn't play Spider-Man Mirage. I didn't play none of these when it first came out. Cause why? Ghost of Tsushima was the only thing I cared about from the moment I woke up to the moment I went to sleep. So I can't speak on, Demon Souls. I did eventually play Spider-Man unimpressed, didn't really care for it. I didn't care for the first Spider-Man. I felt like it was just so much padding in that game that made it just like whatever. But I am not the norm. A lot of people love Spider-Man and whatever Sony does with Spider-Man. But like I said, so that's just my outlook on the launch. It was very difficult. I don't think I got my PS5 until a friend gave me mine. Oh, for my birthday. So I got it in February of 2021. And yeah, so that's the launch of the PS5. It's good, it's bad, my personal experience. But yeah, that's all I got for the launch.
Yeah, there were some more darker times in there. I got mine a few months after Trees got
Yeah.
hers.
Yeah.
The whole thing was full disclosure. Hey, we said we weren't gonna buy this at launch.
We
We are
did.
very big adamant that new technology at the beginning should not be grabbed at launch. You should wait. And then it was like a domino effect. She got hers, got me mine.
Not
But
through a bot. I got it from a Costco launch because I had a membership. So
yes,
Costco,
we're
yeah.
not part of the problem. Not on everything.
I bought it
Not on
legit.
everything. You got it legit. And still to this day, 5 years later, we still have these same launch models.
Yeah.
Every now and then.
Mhm.
About I think every 6 months, I take mine, I clean it, I dust it,
Oh,
whatever the hell
you
to keep the
definitely
shit
gotta
going.
de-dust it. So much
Oh
buildup
yeah.
in that shit. It's
I
stains.
personally think it's a nice decoration piece. Anyone who doesn't know video games, oh, Infamous, what's that? It's an air purifier.
Oh my god, the memes that came out when this shit launched was so fucking funny. Oh god.
Hilarious.
No, what was that one thing that the guy was like, I told my wife it was an air purifier and she let her find out it was the fucking PlayStation and
Oh
she sold
yeah,
it.
yeah. Yeah, that was hilarious.
Yeah,
That was
I will say
that
from the
was a good
launch,
time.
yeah, it was some
That
good
was a good time.
memes that came out of the launch.
And that's it for this video of Are You Not Entertained podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell so you'll never miss our next hot take. Until next time, are you not entertained?